Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp,
Okay.
and she said something supposedly. This is all hearsay.
Lawyers are just frauding and pit anything they doing anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that someone, both of them, should be.
Here's why Jay-Z's name is so well known right now. The man claiming to be Jay-Z's long-lost son, Rymir, was just granted permission by a judge to proceed with his paternity case. Nor is the court in play. Jay-Z has been formally instructed by the judge to reply to the court, filing by July 18th at the latest. It will be there shortly. You know who has been keeping? Is the entire drama really that hot? Of course, that would be none other than 50 Cent. Like he's running a gossip column. He's out there slamming the situation on social media. However, it didn't end there. Nicki Minaj also joined in. Is this why he was trending the other day? She asked, adding a little heat to 50's tweet that she reposted on X. I'm not sure. To glory to God. Everyone seems to be taking this seat as this circus plays out. Wait though, there's more. There are rumors circulating that Beyoncé has reportedly been taking over the scenes, attempting to prevent the lawsuit from proceeding. People are speculating that, similar to what Rymir's godmother said a while back, she is slowing things down by utilizing her influence and power. There are several rumors circulating that there is much more going on here than a paternity claim, which is why this case is finally being permitted to go. The judge allegedly granted permission because there are rumors that Jay-Z may have been a part of several dubious activities in the past. Something about his fathering a child as a result of a covert transit scenario. Yes, Rymir was that child. What's exciting is that this wasn't an isolated error. People are portraying it as a complete cover-up. Additionally, some assert that Jay-Z has been evading the paternity test because he secretly is aware of the reality. Jay-Z is no new to legal disputes, let's face it. When his name is brought up, he's ready to respond with lawsuits. Recall the moment he abruptly shut down foes and settling claims that he and Diddy were involved in a child-related incident. He made sure his name was cleared and dealt with that lightning quickly. However, in regards to he's been to not enter the courtroom. As if it were on fire. People are raising their eyebrows because of this. Like, Jay, why are you so quiet now? Here's an additional twist. Insiders claim, for years, Jay-Z's legal staff has reportedly been working behind the scenes to bury Rym's case. But things are starting to change. According to reports, the court has now decided that enough is enough, and Rymir may eventually receive the DNA test for which he has been fighting. The court filings themselves are insane, and I was able to obtain them. Respond to the latest. Filing by Lily Coley versus Sean Corey Carter. The court stated an official letter. In light of the aforementioned factors, the court grants the ex parte motion and mandates an extension of the defendant's deadline to address plaintiff's allegations until July 18, 2025. Thus, Jay-Z just has a few days left to speak up, or things might quickly go out of control. Let's go back a few years to what Rymir has been stating. He alleges that in 1992, at Jay's aunt's flat, his mother, Wanda, had an affair with J-Z. Brooklyn. Wanda claims that Jay picked her up from Philadelphia. When they returned to New York, they used protection, but she claims that it didn't work. And she became pregnant as a result. She claims that 2 weeks later, Jay made one last appearance before vanishing like a ghost. She was without any way to get back to him.
Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Rymir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. It was something out there with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying.
A few years later, when Rymir was around 8 years old, his mother sat him down and bluntly stated that she thought Jay-Z was his biological father. The man whose name appeared on his birth certificate prior to that was her lover. At the time was Robert Graves. However, that was short-lived. In 2011, Robert's name was formally struck from the birth certificate following a DNA test. He wasn't the father, as the test revealed. Wanda told Rymir the truth. She told him up front that she had only dated Jay-Z and Robert Graves, that it was easy to do the maths when Robert was ruled out by DNA. What other person could it be if not Robert? That Jay-Z was left as the sole potential parent. And that's precisely why things have gotten so heated in this circumstance. This is when things become very serious though. The explanation for Jay-Z's, the allegations state that he has been evading the paternity test because he was 22 and Wanda was only 16 when they reportedly hooked up. That's more than a little drama. That might be illegal. A paternity test is no longer the only issue here. There may be severe legal repercussions as a result. In fact, Wanda's godmother also discussed this. She mentioned that she once received a call from a member of Jay-Z's legal team who was attempting to defuse the situation amicably. Behind closed doors, everything sounded fine at first. They even mentioned Rymir's musical ability and suggested that he might be signed to. She put an end to Jay's label down the road, but they insisted that he must complete his education first. Then all of a sudden, other solicitors entered the room, and their tone completely changed. She claims that everything changed when they discovered Wanda was underage at the time. They became aloof, icy, and protective. She thinks that's meant they realized how dangerous this might be for Jay-Z. This is the portion that has folks in disbelief. Should Jay-Z's paternity be established, it would also mean that when Wanda was only 16, he allegedly transported her from Philadelphia to Brooklyn over state lines. And now since Rymir isn't giving up at all, things are becoming worse. For more than 10 years, he has been engaged in this struggle. And he continues to fight for the truth to be revealed in spite of all the obstacles, including legal restrictions and media silence. According to Rymir, money was never the issue or influence. All he wants is closure. What's crazy is that those who are closest to the situation are now speaking forward as well, allowing us to know for sure who his biological father is. According to insiders, Jay-Z's team has been working tirelessly for years to keep this matter out of the public eye by burying or postponing it. However, with the involvement of the courts and the pressure that is moving forward, it can no longer be ignored. The court deadline has been established. The judge is looking for explanations, and he has nothing to lose. Rymir. The silence that Jay-Z and Beyoncé have maintained throughout all of this is what is truly causing people to take notice. No formal declaration, no legal silence in the press, no reply. And that quiet is deafening.
You guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud is just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe.
People are beginning to question whether the quiet is being used as a legal tactic or because the report may be true. Some, meanwhile, are drawing attention to the possibility that Beyoncé could also be affected by this entire affair. She has consistently defended their legacy, reputation, and brand. The entire business might be upended if it turns out that Jay-Z has a secret son from a long time ago, and that there is a potentially illegal scenario involved. Constructed in tandem. The problem is that Rymir is no longer merely lounging around. He has been demanding the truth, speaking out, conducting interviews, and dumping documents. He's committed to be heard. He now has the support of the legal system. This is when it becomes even more crazy. Rumor has it that this case may not just end with an analysis of DNA. It might cause a full chain reaction to break out. If the court determines that Rymir's assertions are sufficiently supported by evidence, it may lead to inquiries into what actually happened out back in 1992. And that's big business if it finds out that Wanda's transportation across state borders while underage was true. Legal professionals have previously voiced their opinions, noting Jay-Z may be subject to significant legal pressure if these details are verified, not only from the family court, but also possibly from the criminal justice system. Furthermore, since Jay-Z is such a well-known person, any action he takes will be examined closely. This is not merely a local gossip. It is currently before a judge. Additionally, Rhyme's legal team is supposedly becoming more audacious. They aren't playing defense anymore. They're desperate to find out additional records and perhaps even depositions. They want to know why this was kept a secret for so long, who knew what, and where Jay-Z was. And wow, that may quickly become out of control if more people come forward with information. In the meantime, social media is a mess. Supporters are divided. Some are claiming that the entire situation is a setup and protecting Jay-Z. Others agree with Rymir, claiming that after years of disregard, he deserves the truth. Beyoncé's yet to speak. However, many are watching to see if she ultimately confronts it or continues to hide behind the velvet curtain as her name is being brought up more and more in the discourse. This goes beyond a famous person getting entangled in a scandal. This is about a man attempting to establish his true identity while facing off against one of the most formidable names in the music industry. As if it couldn't get any more combustible, there are now rumors that the entire scenario may be related to even more significant corporate secrets. Sources shut down are claiming that this paternity case may just be the beginning, because it could reveal much more than just a secret son if Jay-Z is made to take the DNA test, and it validates.
It's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that just like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud and collusion. Who knows what it's for? Money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong.
Additionally, the numbers would be enormous because Jay-Z is one of the richest celebrities in the entertainment industry. This might be one of the most well-known paternity cases in the history of celebrities. In the meantime, Beyoncé is being keenly observed by fans and bloggers. How will Jay-Z be impacted if her empire suffers? Their reputation as an untouchable power couple has long existed, but it's now being in a way never seen before. Will she be there for him, no matter what? Or is this a storm that might tremble even their kingdom? Another twist that has been hidden for years is this one. Wanda did, in fact, attempt to make Jay-Z accepts accountability. In an attempt to obtain child support from him, she launched a legal complaint. But you know what? That case was dismissed. Why? Due to the fact that it was filed in the incorrect state. After that, it was never refiled at all. It vanished in an instant, at least temporarily. Jay-Z's legal team then entered and struck another obstacle in her path. Regarding custody of Rymir, they contended that Jay-Z had no interest in the matter at all. Thus, legally, Wanda was unable to continue pressing the matter further. She had her hands bound. But it didn't sit well with Rymir. He continued where his mother had left off and made the decision to defend himself. As you are undoubtedly aware, it hasn't been simple. Rhyme claims that the reason he kept encountering lawful brick barriers was because it was believed that Jay-Z was preventing the case from moving forward by abusing his influence, wealth, and power. He thinks Jay was bribing lawyers and even judges just to keep the entire matter hidden and out of the public eye. Rymir took the battle all the way to the Supreme Court because things got so heated. However, they initially rejected him, claiming they lacked the power to unseal the trial court records. or reopen the appeals court case. That might have been it. However, Rymir returned immediately. In the appellate, he refiled the case, section of the Superior Court of New Jersey. The lawsuit is currently intensifying more than ever before. With the appellant, now that the New Jersey Superior Court's division is formally involved, this is more than just a side story. A full-fledged legal battle is dragging greater focus every day. And here's the thing, Rymir's legal team is taken seriously. They are attempting to gain access to sealed papers, reviewing earlier submissions, and requesting openness regarding the initial handling of this issue. The even more dubious aspect is how
some trauma and some of with Rock Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, is hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nikki, would love to connect with her on that. But I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've they've of her platform, they have abused her talents. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child.
Has been claiming for years that he wasn't being ignored by the system. They were manipulating it. Furthermore, the fact that actual legal action is occurring once more begs the question of what precisely have they been hiding. Insiders claim that records dating back to the early 2000s may demonstrate Wanda's repeated attempts to prove paternity. However, every time she ran into a wall, judges and solicitors changed, and paperwork gothled up. It seems as though the case was intentionally hindered or cursed from the beginning. If that is accurate, it presents a very different image of the lengths some people may have gone to in order to preserve Jay-Z's reputation. Remember that Rymir has been financing this conflict primarily on his own. His small legal team, and his desire to be recognized were the only things involved. No significant funds or celebrity support. More people are beginning to support him because of that underdog mentality. The stakes are rising as July 18th approaches. Not possible. Everything changes if Jay-Z finally answers. However, his quiet could be more powerful than any denial if he doesn't say anything. In any case, the truth is on the way, and it appears that the courts are prepared to listen this time. The journey has been difficult, despite the judge's decision to finally allow this case to proceed. The legal team for Jay-Z attempted everything to stop it. They contended that since he allegedly didn't reside in or own property in New Jersey, he shouldn't be had to submit to a DNA test there. One technicality in particular was fuel that prevents Rymir from gaining any legal support, and it worked for a time. Rymir was powerless to compel Jay-Z to perform the exam. However, Rymir merely played a game transformator. He uploaded receipts, which are concrete evidence that Jay-Z owned real estate in New Jersey at the time. Not just any receipts either. These were directly from Tina, Beyoncé's mother, Nolly's. She allegedly acknowledged in her book that Jay-Z had real estate in New Jersey at the time. That whole justification of having no connections to the state has now been disregarded. Now that the wall has finally been broken, the case is proceeding, and hundreds of people are supporting.
And it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter, so it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost saying it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through a lot.
She is currently exerting a lot of pressure on Jay-Z. She even reshared a shocking interview with Dre Hadley, Rock Nation CEO Desiree Perez's estranged daughter. During that conversation, Dre charged Roc Nation of orchestrating attempts to undermine Nicki's career and accused her own mother of having her taken to a mental health facility. Nicki Minaj is going all out and isn't holding back for anyone. She has been scolding Jay-Z and Roc Nation, saying they have gone too far. She made the audacious claim that Roc Nation came for her family, not just for herself. Nicki claims that they specifically targeted her spouse, made fun of her child, and made every effort to discredit her. If they can do this to her, what's preventing them from doing it to everyone else? She cautioned that what's happening to her should frighten the entire nation. Anyone else? Nicki has been dropping bomb after bomb in the last 2 days. She said that the true reason she hasn't been releasing new songs is because Jay-Z and his team have blackballed her in the music business. Music. She continued after that. She disclosed that someone has been putting in extra effort behind the scenes to destroy her marriage to Kenneth Petty. She claims that they have been utilizing friends and distributing false information to turn him against her in high places. She claims that her brand is being purposefully harmed. She also revealed how social media companies have been shadow banning her and her fan accounts, making it more difficult for her voice to be heard. Then the topic of money came up. Nicki asserted that Jay-Z owes her money and that she will no longer keep quiet about it. Now she immediately intervened in Rhys' case, supporting him and applying intense pressure. She's stating unequivocally that Jay-Z ought to be made to take the DNA test. The tone of this lawsuit has dramatically changed after Nicki Minaj started advocating for Rymir and making fun of Roc Nation. A low-key court dispute has now escalated into a full-scale media frenzy. Jay-Z is in the midst of it all. The issue that everyone has been avoiding is being asked by more influencers, bloggers, and even industry insiders who are sifting through old receipts. Why hasn't Jay-Z completed the DNA test recently? Isn't that a basic swab? However, the speculation grows louder the longer he avoids it. People are beginning to question whether he is afraid of something more serious, because paternity is no longer the only thing at stake here. It concerns the legal games, the pattern of avoidance, and the strong silence. Not to mention that Nicki is not a little artist venting his anger. One of the most well-known figures in the game is boldly claiming to have been financially harmed, targeted, and sabotaged. That adds in a new level off this drama. If what she says is accurate, it portrays Jay-Z and Roc Nation as more than just music moguls. It exposes them as influential people who pull strings behind closed doors, reportedly using their position to keep secrets safe and suppress critics. Rymir's case is still gaining momentum in the meantime. The public is looking for answers. The court is looking for action. Jay-Z has yet to speak. But now that people like Nicki Minaj are deliberately stoking the flames, it might be impossible to remain silent. Right now, Jay-Z's silence is simply making matters worse. The noise level surrounding him increases as he remains silent. People are now questioning whether the entire scenario has the potential to have a cascading effect on the music business as a whole. Although Rymir's case began with a straightforward request for a DNA test, it has since evolved into a public debate around protection, power, and who actually has thestory. We must not overlook the wider picture. Jay-Z's personal life will be appended, but his financial empire, legacy, and everything else might be affected if he is made to take the test and the results validate what Rymir has been saying for years. People are so conjecturing that the reason this has been blocked for so long may be less related to paternity in and of itself, as well as what that confirmation would reveal. Past deeds, legal issues, public responsibility, and of course, Beyoncé. Even though she hasn't spoken, her silence is garnering media attention. Did she know about this the whole time? Others are questioning. Was she being kept in the dark, or was she defending Jay? The reputation of one of the most influential couples in entertainment history may suffer if the truth is out. Rymir, meantime, is acting like he's had enough. He's resolute, getting more backing every day, and demonstrating that he's nothing until the truth is presented. Furthermore, Jay-Z's typical tactics might not be effective this time around, given the demands for justice made by Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent, and a growing number of admirers. The stress is unbelievably high as July 18th draws near. This is more than just a deadline set by law. It's imminent that has the potential to completely upend everything. We may finally get answers if Jay-Z answers. However, if he doesn't, the court might proceed without him, and then things might become unpleasant. Unsealed documents, mandatory DNA testing, and default judgments. Everything is now on the table. And you know what? The legal team for Rymir is prepared. For years, they have been laying the groundwork for this moment by gathering information, assembling a case, and exposing every legal loophole that has been exploited to delay the truth. They are ensuring that the following step won't be halted by any further formalities, delays, or silence. Whispers are becoming louder behind the scenes. According to insiders, Jay-Z's team has been frantically attempting to contain the damage, rethink the situation, and possibly even reach a peaceful resolution. But too many people are observing now. With the public demanding complete transparency, a quiet withdrawal may no longer be an option. Openness. And Rymir isn't just lounging about, reminding everyone that he has been seeking the truth while the opposition has been hiding behind silence and power. He is releasing updates, displaying documentation, and maintaining the pressure. He is no longer the young man adrift in the legal system. He has become more fearless and focused. The internet is exploding in the meantime. Every old tweet, every document, and every video is being examined. Individuals are making connections, examining receipts, and learning more about Jay-Z's public persona's past. And why go through all this work just to evade one DNA test is the question that keeps coming up more and more every day. Now that everything is coming together, Rymir may finally find the resolution he has been seeking for a very long time. The judge is permitting the matter to proceed, the Globe keeping an eye on it, and support is flooding in. However, there are still those people who are doubting his intentions and asking, is this really about uncovering the truth, or is he attempting to get paid? People are curious about Rymir's true end goal. He's standing 10 toes down on it, and he's already made that obvious. Rymir believes that this case isn't about Jay-Z filling in as a father figure or abruptly making up for years of absence. It's not about reunions, embraces, or happy endings. It is about how he and his family were repeatedly let down by the courts. How judges reportedly issued dubious decisions and permitted court orders that are fraudulent and cost them money, time, and peace of mind. Some of those fake court orders, according to Ree, are still being used to steal money and maintain unlawful debts on their family's house. Therefore, people are missing the point when they claim that he is merely pursuing influence or attempting to obtain a check. His family's name has been tarnished and demand that a system that, in his opinion, never provided justice give them a fair chance. Let's not twist it either. I don't want money or anything like that from Jay-Z, he stated bluntly. All I want is for him to come clean and give the public the truth. That's all. Just one straightforward request. No drama, no begging. I'm not your son, and nothing ever happened with my mom, is a response that should be ignored. Why does the simple paternity test always yield a negative result if you're speaking the truth? That is the query. All Rymir has been requesting for years is clarity at this point. Just a few direct responses to some grave allegations that have been disregarded for far too long. He wants to start by addressing the purported fact that Wanda, who was only 16 at the time, was transported by Jay-Z from Philadelphia to Brooklyn, where they allegedly hooked up. That is a significant accusation, and it has significant legal ramifications. Second, according to Rymir, Jay-Z's attorneys weren't merely slick. They tried to pass it off as an error after outright lying in court. Third, he notes that Jay-Z was apparently attempting to quietly resolve the matter behind the scenes years ago. Despite the fact that he has formally disputed the accusations, it presents a whole different picture if that is accurate. Fourth, and perhaps most troubling of all, Rymir says someone really attempted to remove him after he filed a civil lawsuit. He claims that before he was pulled over, his car was shot at, intimidation techniques were employed, and something was planted. Inside, he even shared pictures of the damage. It is a pattern of giving, and not in a positive way. Particularly in light of Dre Hadley's remarks on Desiree Perez, the CEO of ROC Nation, her own mother. The same strategies, the same quiet, the same power plays. It's all coming to a head now that the court has formally ordered Jay-Z to answer. Will he say anything at last? Or will this continue to veer into more sinister and profound areas? Leave a comment below with your opinions. We're interested in your thoughts on all of this. Remember to subscribe, like, and share if you want to stay.